Shout out to everybody out there on White Street. You already know what it is. Salute to everybody.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to SteveBussaGS. We got another scorecard reaction for you guys, and you already know what it is. Is it weird? It feels weird. Does it look weird? Yeah, we got some new settings going on, alright? I started working from home, so, you know, my whole week's kind of been off a little bit, but I got my workstation, and here's, like, my fun station? Fun station sounds weird. But here's where we're going to be doing it from now on. I might switch it a few times. Let me know down in the comments below. Does it look dope? Shout out. We got SteveBussaGS, very visible now. She's gang gang. Don't ask me no questions. I won't tell you no lies, you dig? So let's get into it. I want to start off. Huge shout out to PQ, aka the Pristine Queen. That is my nickname for her. You do not have the right to call her that. This is her first request on the channel. I may have pulled it out of her a little bit, but still a request nonetheless. So I'm excited to get into it. She is a prominent hip-hop figure in South Africa. Runs a combination. I don't know if it's just like supposed to be more of like a show or a radio show, because it is primarily hip-hop. I don't know how she wants it to be identified. And in order to unpack all of that, we're going to have an interview, and I'm going to grill her on all the questions that I want all the answers for, and it's going to be fun, so make sure you guys check out that as well. I'm ready to hop into this. This is my first time hearing it as artists. We have R.A.S the artist, or R.A.S the artist, R.A.S. Song is called Melanin. Now, I told her I want something with substance. I said, give me something that either goes hard, catches a vibe, something that I can unpack. You know what I'm saying? I don't think she's going to let us down, so let's see what it's hitting for. Is it weird? It kind of feels like something's off, right? Do me a favor, run the gauntlet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, little bell notification guy. If you want to support the channel, the best way to do so is down in the description below. Join the Patreon. I'm also running a contest where I will pick one Patreon member September 1st, and they will get to pick the first 10 reactions of September. So if you want to take control of the channel for a little while, go ahead and subscribe to the Patreon. I greatly appreciate you, family. Let's get it. Let's get it. It's called Melanin. Yeah. Hold up. What was the sound in the background there? Alright, so the song is called Melanin. The image here is a man behind bars, and we hear chains dragging on the background. Before we even get into this, we can tell this is probably going to be more of a conscious song, so we're probably going to have a lot of lyrical substance to unpack. The beat, however, is definitely like a melodic hip-hop beat. Like, it's almost going to be catchy, so I'm not sure where we're going to be going with this. But the first thing that I picked up right away is you hear the sound of the chains dragging on the floor. We have a couple telltale signs that this is going to be something we're going to be digging into. Let's go.
Yeah, they making me pay for it. Like Pac on life support. Put me in chains for it. Mission abort. Cause I got the legs for it. 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 They want me to change for it. Feel ashamed for it. Calling me names for it. Same.
Alright, so Melanin is not only going to be the name of the song, but it is also the topic of the song as well, right? So everything that he's talking about, like what it is that they're making him do it for, is because he has melanin in his skin. All right, so that's where we're going. We have the concept now. The important part there that stood out to me too is everything that is being thrown at you from society. You have the legs for it, and the repeating of "I got the legs for it, I got the legs for it," meaning I can take what you throw at me. I am built to withstand it. And I think we're probably going to see a direction of not everybody may be built like that. I think you're going to see that this is going to get turned into more of a pride, more of like a pride stance. Right now, obviously, it's more of a victim stance. We're going over all of the things that are happening to somebody that has melanin, all of the atrocities that are coming around somebody who has melanin. Based on the language that they're using, if you listen to the descriptive language and the flow that they're going through it, like what was happening, and then the repeating of "I got the legs for it." I think we're gonna end up with an uplifting song. If I had to guess, I'm gonna guess this ends up being more of an uplifting track. So let's continue to unpack.
We ain't the same for it. Won't give me a chance for it. Thinking I can't for it. They start in advance for it. That's something I can't afford. I'm taking a stance for it. Give me just what I asked for. Nah, I can't be last for it. I'm home, I don't need a pass for it. But I'm put in a box for it. They're thinking I'm slinging some rocks for it. I'm back on the block for it. So now I'm fighting the cops for it. I've taken.
Let's go. So we're definitely you got some like J. Cole vibes right there. Neighbors think I'm selling dope. A lot of repeating concepts that we've heard in hip hop. He's packaging it together very well. Also, if you look at the timing, these tracks that are coming up that are definitely bringing more conversation pieces, that are bringing more awareness, are killing it this year. We have the Black Lives Matter movement, not just in America. You have shout out, not shout out, but like. Shout out to Zimbabwe, who's also going through it. Black Lives Matter is pushing over there as well. And then all around the world, you're seeing support and stuff like that that's coming around. So these tracks as they're coming up as more of conversation pieces, more of like, how do I want to word this? It's more like the topic of conversation is not something that I'm afraid of addressing now. This is no longer something that we're being quiet about. Not that it ever was, but it is very, very prominent in 2020. And there's definitely, I'm telling you, I think we're going to see the track direction is definitely going to gear towards more like the I got the legs for it portion of the lyrics that they're getting into on this.
Lot for it. To win, I've taken a knock for it. No jobs on the top for it. Just sign on the dot for it. That's how they get you, they lie for it. That's how they get you to spy for it. Making my people apply for it. Now you a slave of time for it. They making me pay for it. Like Pac on life support. Put me in.
Hold on, I gotta catch this. Did he say
a slave of time for it? They making me pay for it.
I couldn't tell if he said Tom Ford, like the clothing brand, or just time for it, like doing time for it. I couldn't show, but both concepts really fit. There's definitely pushing the idea of just like being a slave, the concepts of being a slave, the brand clothing and things of that nature. So that both work there. I just wasn't sure what I heard.
Like Pac on life support. Put me in chains for it. Mission abort. Cause I got the legs for it. 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 I do the most for it. But I'm always in court for it. If I do it corporate,
I did the lowest post for it.
so there's nothing to show for it. Set my Debo on dope for it. We fighting our own for it. That's what they impose for it. Putting up borders for it. Applying the art of war for it. Not even getting a quarter for it. They should be placing a.
All right, so the fighting we're on for, the art of war, they're definitely, he's referring to the divide and conquer tactics, right? Being as how this is taking place in South Africa, I believe. I don't know that for a fact. I didn't do my research, but I assume based on the source that the artist is going to be South African related. If I'm mistaken on that, by all means, correct me down in the comments below. But there's the specific thing that comes to my mind, if you guys check the introduction to hip-hop video that we did that is down in the description below, is the difference between, or not the difference, but the divide between, in South Africa, people that are considered blacks versus coloreds. So people who are light-skinned or have parents of mixed races. You're talking about the art of war, the actual book Art of War, about dividing and conquer, which plays into the bar that he had right before then, about fighting their own for it as well.
Post for it.
So there's nothing to show for it. Set my Debo on dope for it. We fighting our own for it. That's what they impose for it.
Listen to his voice too when he hits the bar. You'll notice that it's almost like comical. Like, I can't believe it. Like, somehow it came to this part. You would think, with as bad as things are, that the very least we would have each other's back. Like, the tone of his voice and the way that his voice drops while delivering this speaks almost more than the actual bar does. You have to listen to the delivery here. This is dope. I like this.
We fighting our own for it. That's what they impose for it. Putting up borders for it. Applying the art of war for it. Not even getting a quarter for it. They should be placing an order for it. That's why I scream for it.
Alright, so now that line, like not even getting a quarter for it, they should be placing an order for it. Definitely tying into the publication of black culture, right? use me as an example. This is an easy analogy here, right? You have a Caucasian person who's involved in hip-hop who is building a brand off of black culture. The idea of that is now in everything from fashion to just basic slang and language that's used in society. Yeah, that was a heavy bar. That was a heavy bar. I've never heard of this artist before, but this is definitely someone that I would want to look into. And we're not even getting a quarter for it. We're not even getting paid for it. Yeah, we're here for it, man.
For it, but I can't be asleep for it. That's how I lost my peace for it. Fighting to eat for it, fighting to speak for it. Just trying to be free for it, but they won't let me breathe for it. Won't give me a seat for it. We kings and queens for it. I'm planting the seed for it. Some to leave the keys for it. They making me pay for it. Like Pac on life support. Put me in chains for it. Mission abort. Cause I got the legs for it.
So far he's hit a ton of topics, to be honest with you. You probably could pull 40 different talking points out of this already. If I had to make a guess, my prediction is there is going to be an additional verse, and the last verse is where we're going to turn it around to be more of a positive track. I could be wrong. This could just be an awareness. This might not be uplifting. The point of this might not be to be uplifting. The point of this might just be to give these talking points and to acknowledge it and to give a voice to it. That could also be the way that we're going, the direction that we're going. We'll see in the last minute here.
I got the legs for it. I got the legs for it.
I got the legs for it. I got the legs for it. I got the legs for it. I got the legs for it.
Or not.
There's only one way to be independent. There's only one way to be free. It's not something that someone gives to you. It's something that you take. Nobody can give you freedom. Nobody can give you equality or justice or anything. Nobody can give it to you. So if you and I want freedom, if we want independence, if we want respect, if we want recognition, we take it. If you can't take it, you don't deserve it.
What a wild statement to end with. He definitely came. So it ends up being a call to action. It ends up being a call to action at the end there. I thought there was going to be a third verse, but it wasn't. So I was wrong on my prediction. But the message and the volume that he's definitely of topics that he's definitely addressing in this, definitely super dope. I'm 100% here for it. Obviously, whenever we talk about these tracks and these type of topics, I'm not going to scorecard it because it's just not appropriate. This isn't necessarily just a piece of music. It is more of a movement piece, so to speak. So we're here for it. It would get a thumbs up for me. It was definitely dope. Definitely somebody that I would look into more. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this? Drop them down in the comments below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? As always, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all coming to rock out with me, and I will catch y'all on the next one.